this year. Well, it's early season for many of these men. Pistorius, of course, has some races from the South African season under his belt as well. Let's go for that lineup one more time for you. Pistorius in 1. Taylor, better known as a 400-metre hurdler, goes in 2, but he's helped the USA to 3 World Championship relay goals. Very, very fast 400-metre man. Pistorius 1, Taylor in 2. Kirani James, the world champion, in 3. There's LaShawn Merritt, he goes in 4, the Olympic champion, in 4. Fettler, close second last year in the World Championships. Jeremy Warner, former Olympic and world champion, goes in 5, looking for a confidence boost here. Borlée, the European champion, in 6. Chris Brown in 7. Pinder in 8. Oh my word, and that was Kirani James who stood up early. Now, I don't know if there was noise from the sidelines or what, but that would be a real shame if he were disqualified with this very unforgiving rule which has been in place for several years now. The athletes all know it, the 100, 200 and 400 metre runners, and indeed the hurdlers as well, who are subject to that rule.
They're having a discussion about his marksman, Tim. Initially they just said he's out, but the marksman who was actually standing very close to him on the track has wandered over to the actual starter and is having a word with him. He may well, let's just watch this. It looked to me like he overbalanced and just went. Now you can actually see a starter's marksman right on the right-hand side who fired the gun for the false start, has wandered over. And to be honest, there's no real discussion. That was a false start. The only thing is whether or not the marksman thinks he was put off. He's gone though, and I think that's probably right.
Are you allowed to run protest at 400 metres? It happens occasionally in 100s and 200s, but the red card is coming out, unfortunately, for Kirani James, the world champion, and that is an enormous shame. Great for Kirani James. The red disc held out to him, and the world champion at the age of 19 has added another line to his CV. Now, oh, hang on, there was a thumbs up there, but he is being shown a red disc, a red card. He hasn't lost a national final in almost 4 years, Kirani James, and this won't go down as a loss, really. It's a disqualification, but it looks like he is gone.
No,
or is he? No.
Hold on.
I think he's going to run. The blocks have been removed, now they're being put back. Chaos reigns.
But what happened with it, the man who's in charge of the timing, sitting over right, you can almost see him in the picture, just behind the guy with the white cap behind in the back. He came over, a lead was moved, and as I would say, there may well have been a reason that maybe that speaker that's been right directly behind him as part of his blocks wasn't functioning properly, because he couldn't hear. Anyways, I think he's a fairly fortunate man, to be honest, but not a bad thing.
I think it's very fortunate. He showed a bit of naivety at the World Doors back in March when he allowed himself to be well beaten in his semi-final, and he then was given lane 1 and of course ended up in 6th place. A dreadful lane draw he got in Istanbul.
Well, Tim, this is carrying on. This is ridiculous now, because now the man from the timing mechanism has said there wasn't a problem. Let's see what happens now.
It's there's only one way from this sort of situation, that's upwards. Kirani James in 3, the reigning world champion. LaShawn Merritt, the reigning Olympic champion, in 4. Jeremy Warner, Olympic and world champion, in 5. There he is in the orange. How can Warner go here? Big names are inside him. Kevin Borlée, the European champion, in 6. Chris Brown goes in 7, former world indoor champion for Bahamas. And Pinder, the outside in lane 8. Well, that was a long hold that time. It almost tempted anyone to full start. James has gone off steadily, looking to see if there's anybody who's really gone off the quickest. Certainly at the moment it looks like Pistorius is lagging behind the rest of them. Now they begin to get in there running down the back straight. And it is indeed at Kirani James who's easing up onto the shoulder of LaShawn Merritt there as they go through the 200 point. Good running on the outside from Chris Brown and Pinder in 7 and 8. But Kirani James up on the shoulder of Jeremy Warren now, and LaShawn Merritt outside him, and James leading as they come around the crown with a bend into the straight, and it's very, very tight, this one between Kirani James in 3 and LaShawn Merritt in 4. This is a battle royal between these two. And Merritt time 4.93. It wasn't quick. We've had quite a lot of rain earlier on this morning. It's damp. I don't think there's a great deal of wind down there on the track, but the time is not fast. The quality of the race was fabulous though, with Jeremy Warren run out of that one. Two big new names on the world scene. I say new, Merritt around for a while, but Merritt and James providing the fireworks there. And Kirani James maybe just going out a little too hard, Steve, through that middle 200 metres really, around the crown of the top bend. And LaShawn Merritt running a very, very well-judged race yet again to win that one.
Slow at the blocks, Merritt, and that gave Kirani James just a couple of metres advantage. But James did go hard through that first 200, but I think there was a little bit of cat and mouse from the two of them here, because almost at this point, Merritt feels Kirani James coming alongside him and starts to pick it up around that top bend, and then has to hold on to the from Grenada. And even as they come into the straights, Kirani James to me still hasn't sort of developed much from last year. It's still a little bit ragged. Look at the difference between him and Merritt. At this point, Merritt just driving with those arms and the knees, and just has enough strength in the last 15 minutes or so. Turning around, of course, what happened at the World Championships last year. And this is going to be a fantastic tussle at the Olympic Games. These are the two best men in the world. But, of course, we've got Santos from the Dominican Republic, the new 18-year-old, who could well mix it up with these two guys here. But there is